So it's not often that I will suggest a work of fiction. It's not often that I will suggest anything to you that I don't think has direct applicability into your life. But this book's just so good. The Prophet. I think it might be my second favorite book, maybe third. But Khalil Gibran just has a way of speaking that he says so little but says so much. Like, look how small this book is, but this book is a book that leaves an impact on you. In the, I think, 40, 50 pages, actually it's 80 pages, but there's a lot of pictures. There's just so much wisdom, there's just so much information, there's so much knowledge, and it's really beautiful to see a man say so much in so few pages. And the basic point of the book is that there is this prophet, and he's about to go away on the long journey. I think it's symbolic of him, disappearing from this earth, but you know what? I'm not going to speculate on things. I'm just going to get into more analysis of the book. But anyway, the people of his town, the people of his village, they basically ask him for one last round of wisdom. They want to hear his words one last time before he leaves. And the overall message is that the way we approach things, the way we view things is inherently flawed. We don't see it for what it really is. We don't see sorrow and pain and anguish for what they really are. We see them as, when I get sad, it's the end of the world. But the truth is, when you get sad, it allows for more happiness. The more sad you've had in your life, the more depressing moments, the more horrible things that have happened to you, the more you can appreciate the good things. But if your life is entirely good things, you will never understand what true joy is because you just take it for granted. And it's through these lessons, it's through these things that we really learn what it is to be a human. We really learn what it is to be an individual and, just grow. Just grow with the times. And I'll literally open a random page and read for you. Then a hermit who visited the city once a year came forth and said, "Speak to us of pleasure." And he answered, saying, "Pleasure is a freedom song, but it is not freedom. It is the blossoming of your desires, but it is not their fruit. It is a depth calling unto a height, but it is not the deep nor the high. It is the cage taking wind, but it is not space encompassed. In very truth, pleasure is a freedom song, and I fain would have you sing it with fullness of heart. Yet I would not have you lose your hearts in the singing." It's just it's so poetic and it's so deep. And again, books like this is what really inspires me to continue reading. Books like this is what really inspires me to continue learning because eventually one day I want to write something like this. I mean, that's saying a lot because it's one of the greatest books ever written, but I want to be able to express my ideas and express my thoughts in a way that transcends generations. And it's not just for the influence, it's not for the achievement, it's not for anything aside from knowing that I can do it. Like literally giving the book to my mother or my girlfriend and them reading it and being like, wow, you're capable of this. And it's really awesome to see that a mind that was not divinely inspired, that was not writing the Bible, could write something so deep, could write something so inspiring. And it's really a shame that Khalil Gibran isn't as respected as he really should be. And I was looking up his Wikipedia, and it was saying that Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, a bunch of other artists really, really love this book, The Prophet, and a lot of their songs were actually inspired by him. And it's really awesome to see. It's really awesome to see that people who I've really respected, people who I really have loved their music and loved their contribution to the art world, were literally inspired by one of my favorite books. So it's cool. It's a cool book to read for that fact alone. But the overall point of it is I want you to start engrossing yourself in poetry. I want you to start engrossing yourself in allegory and symbolism and start to think of things from this perspective. Because the more we can think of things from this perspective, the more we can affect our own world. I want you to understand that the way you view the world, the words you use, the ability for you to shape the lens is the ability to shape what reality comes. And if you are capable of using simile, metaphor, if you are capable of writing poetry, you can basically get your way throughout this world. And it's not hard. It really isn't. it's not hard to be poetic. It's not hard to explain things in a manner that has more than just a surface level meaning. But we've never exposed ourselves to this world. We never exposed ourselves to the inner workings of the mind, and we think in terms of a rigid structure. We think in terms of a book that has a beginning and an end, but we don't think of a book that you have to put down and really process what is in it. And I was reading Seneca the other day, and it was basically saying that, like, most people learn for the sake of learning, but you have to learn for the sake of you. You have to learn for the sake of passion. You have to learn for the sake of just expanding your mind and expanding your wisdom, because everything goes with old age. I mean, to a certain extent, your mind as well, but like your mind is the only thing that persists well deep into old age. And it's frustrating to me that people will work on their body, people will work on, their finances, they will work on everything except the faculty which stays with you the most. Like, if you're a singer, eventually one day you won't be able to sing anymore. Like, look at the Frankie Valli songs, look at the all the memes online. If you're an athlete, there'll be a day and age where you have to retire. And if you're a thinker, if you're an intellect, if you're a philosopher, if you're any sort of intellectual, that is something that persists well into old age. Like, look up Manly P. Hall. He's 88 giving lectures on esoteric topics, and you're like, wow, this is the smartest guy I've ever seen. And there's something to be said about your mind's ability to be creative and fill in the dots, and in some way make people think through saying less. And the more I read books like this, the more I'm inspired to pursue this path, to pursue a destiny of philosophy, a destiny of poetry, a destiny of saying more with less. Not having to explain with words, but explain with the gaps that I leave in my words. And it's very, very interesting to see such a meaningful book and such a meaningful message put in so few words. And I really can't suggest this book enough. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of this book. It's probably about $5 on Amazon. I bet you can find it online somewhere, because I think this book was published. When was this book published? Love how I can't find shit when I'm looking for it. It doesn't say. It's probably published in like 1950, 1920, and it might even be in public domain. So, tremendous book. I really think you should read it. I really think you should pick it up. And it's one of the few works of fiction that I really suggest, because most fiction is, let's face it, like, it's just fluff. It's not poetic. It's not symbolic. It really doesn't have anything past the first reading. It really doesn't have anything aside from a narrative. But when you can go to a work of fiction and it reads like a work of the Bible, when you can go to a work of fiction and each time you read it, you gain more and more insight on what it means to be a man, what it means to be an individual, I think that's a worthwhile book. I think that's something that transcends time and transcends the individual. And it's almost like we need to focus more on books like that. We need to focus more on things that will improve our wisdom, that will improve our insights, and through improving our own wisdom and insights, we can improve the world. Because everyone wants to point the fingers and go, oh, politics are so terrible. Oh, all of these things are so bad. Oh, if this person wins, then I'm going to move to another country. And it's like, you know what? You can take that mindset, you can take that approach of blaming everyone else except yourself, or you can stand up, start gaining the wisdom, start gaining the insight, and start inspiring the people around you to make a change for the better, to become more positive, to become better individuals, to start positively influencing your community, and somehow give back. Somehow give back by inspiring others to learn, by leading people to their own truth. There's no such thing as the one truth. There's everyone's own individual truth, because we all exist in our own realities. We all exist in our own worlds, and what's right for you, what works for me, might not be the same for everyone else. And we need to understand this fact and make people think for themselves for once. Cut all these bullshit narratives, cut all these political ideologies, and cut all of these philosophies and isms, and start getting back to true thought, start getting back to true understanding. And it's a beautiful feeling when you say you're not defined by anything. It's a beautiful feeling when you say you hold nothing above your own thoughts. And that's what I want to inspire. And It's through books like this that I've been able to say that. Pick up this book, link will be in the description. If you want more from me, if you want to speed up the process of learning, go ahead, join that paid community on my Discord. Love all you guys. Peace out.